or stuff like that, and that's really interesting. But you're right with the styles. If it's a hot style, they'll just jump on it because it feels hot. It's a hot style. Like you say for drill, drill is everywhere. But for me, drill, when I hear it, I also hear very similar vibes that attaches drill to like rara music, which is a Haitian folkloric music, which has the same type of pattern and the same rhythms. So like I do my own version of like drill, but I would like j'irais puiser, like I would dive into the rara side and transform rara into like today's music, like today's sound, and it just gives me drill right away. It's just that's no wonder a lot of us vibe with it because it really strikes a chord that goes into the sounds that we grew up on when we were kids, or our people grew up
Dude,
on,
that is
or
like
you know.
that is an amazing tidbit. I never would have thought of
Yeah,
that. I'm actually gonna go peep some of this after and just
yeah.
kind of get my vibe on a bit.
If you look for rara music, rara, R-A-R-A, when you think of like an example of a track that embodies like rara style and hip hop, you would have to listen to Wyclef Jean's Thug Angel.
Okay.
Thug Angel is the best example of like you taking the rara vibe and transforming it into hip hop. And when you listen to that Thug Angel today, you can really hear like, okay, I can definitely see how like drill can exist so much and resonate so many people at the same time. Because I hear it connecting to rara automatically, like folkloric Caribbean music, automatically.
That's
So it
wild.
reaches a lot of different people at the same time. But not a lot of people will make that type of connection if they're, not in tune with rara music, or if they're not,
Nah, but it's
you know.
also like your DJ producer mind, right? You making all kinds of
Yeah,
links that us average people ain't gonna be making.
yeah, exactly,
But I got a
exactly.
question then. Given your role in the city and everything, one of the things that I think a lot of us wonder about is what is the sound of Montreal? And I guess like your answer would have more weight to me than most people's, just given who you are and what you see. What would you argue would
Mm.
be like the core sound of this city right now?
You mean in terms of like
Like the hip hop
what
sphere.
people like
Yeah.
my perception, or what I think people like, what the mass is listening, what's the vibe of the mass type of thing, like what I think people are listening to, and or the vibe of what they're listening to, or what do I think? Is that what you're asking?
Well, both of those now, because you made the question
Okay.
cooler by giving me the choice.
um okay, so what I think the majority mass of hip hop listeners listen to, like here in Montreal, is a lot of the French, like 514, White Bee, Enima, Lost, all these cats, Soldier, like they listen to them a lot. And these rappers can, how can I say, we can kind of put them side to side easier with a French rapper, like French from France rapper. So it just multiplies even more the library of music, that the playlist that they can listen to. So, but you won't have somebody who listens to, let's say, a la Cla, listen to like something that's really that street, like street rap. It's some artists are really more into like rap, hip hop, or just hip hop, and others are more into street rap, and but they don't really jump that much. So rare you would have like people who, like, let's say, people who listen to Loud. You would have some people who listen to Loud or Larry, but would they listen to Like, would they listen to a Nate Hustler necessarily, even if it's Nate is English or whatnot? Not necessarily, but it could happen. So I think what's important is to be able to make those bridges, not just in the collaborations, but also and the people who are taking care of the bookings and stuff like that, mixing up the lineup. That Fookie did a feature with Nate Husser. I think it's a great move. I think
That
it's an
was
excellent.
amazing because I would have never
Yeah.
listened to that dude. But I've been bumping Nate
Hmm.
Husser for a minute now. So when I see Nate Husser does this, and then I'm like, wait, that's two languages on that's fucking fire. And it's the poutine
Exactly.
sauce, I think.
Yeah. Puts in sauce and yeah. I think there's a whole bunch of different styles. We do have like we do have like our Tribe Called Quest and our De La Souls and our J Cole's and our Jay Z's. We also have our we have our Metro Boomin, Travis Scott type of vibes on the French side. So when I think of like Roger, Jean Lou, RIP, Mike Shab, um, these are like the upcoming or not upcoming, like these people who've been doing it. Actually, people who've been doing it for quite a while, and their shit is like solid, blowing up because they've always been consistent, and they have their vibe, which is cool. Very much slimy, a little bit slimier, and the bass are like the patterns are really like trippy, trappy, trippy, which is cool. And then you have loud, Aegis Larry. That's like, how can I say? I'm trying to find the right way to put this. It's funny because like it reminds me of something that I told the homies. Like when we were on tour in Europe, it was loud, Rhymes, myself, and Rhymes is more of like he's like more of a rebel poet, but he raps on heavy beats. Like his lyrical poesy is like very like research words and but he talks about all different things. And his style is very like you can he's like his style is vraiment genre le poète rebelle. That's how I call him. And Loud is more of like the rap athlete. The guy is always like in his like sporty vibe, but when he raps, he's like the way he he carries himself like an athlete, like a basketball player who's always focused for the game type of thing. So it gives like a different aspect of how people actually create and do their music or do their art. It's just the way that they carry themselves. And it's cool to like be in a circle of different artists, but they actually complement each other. It's not an artist who's trying to be the other or the
Mm.
other trying to be the other or one stepping on the other's toes because they just, being in the same vibe or being sharing the same stage doesn't mean that you have to be exactly the same or that you have to. There's ways of like making shit happen and everybody can have a good time. That ticket is purchased and everybody's good with it. Doesn't it just have to be the homies? Collaborations can happen and they can make sense. It's just about reaching out also. It's not easy to reach out. Sometimes some people find it hard.
You know what I
But
think it is? Like, and this is just coming from my perspective of trying. Half the reason I'm doing this interview show is because I don't know who the fuck to talk to about anything. And trying to find out who to reach out to. I mean, now I can sit here and say I have a pretty solid idea of what I'm going to do next year to get my name out. But it took me
mm,
like a year of just asking, I don't know, 150 people how they did whatever the fuck they did. And I had to like piece it together. And this isn't the type of shit you can easily Google. This is like
no,
meticulously complicated, like to figure out who the players in your scene are. And like there's a lot of misplays. Like I didn't go to enough shows. Unless, like there's a lot of things I didn't realize. So like now I'm like, okay, gotta make sure I'm hitting some shit every week or two, doing things like
mm-hmm,
that because it's really important. And I don't think a lot of
mm-hmm,
us learn those lessons. So you just feel frustrated and like, what's the point? And then,
yeah,
like, I mean, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I never even thought about press kits until this year. Like
mm-hmm,
all of these
mm-hmm,
different pieces of the puzzle where I know a lot of people who we really haven't done a lot of this groundwork because whatever, we never figured it out, we didn't Google it, we didn't take the time, however it may be. And I think that it
Mm-hmm.
is important to find more collaborations, especially because, like, if you're in my position, reaching out could unlock the opportunity to find somebody to be like, nah, you're dope. I'm going to show you what's up. Let's make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of potential out there. And I like how you keep focusing on, like, collaborations. Like, you really feel this is the move to elevate things in the world.